Hey there, and welcome. So, if you're working on your B1 German, you've probably noticed that tech words are just everywhere. So in this explainer, we're going to tackle some of those super common and, let's be honest, commonly mispronounced German tech words. You ready? Let's get this right.
All right, let's jump right in with the little pop quiz. You see this word all the time, but how would you actually say it in a German sentence?
If you said something like laptop with the stress right on the first syllable, well, that makes total sense. That's the English way to say it, and it's where most of us start. But let's see how the Germans do it.
Okay, but in German, the stress actually shifts to the end of the word. It's der Laptop. Can you hear that? Laptop. It's a small change for sure, but trust me, it's these little details that are going to make you sound so much more natural. And well, that's exactly what we're here for, right? Okay, let's talk about your digital workspace. We're going to start with the basics, the actual physical hardware you have sitting on your desk.
First up, the thing you're probably looking at this very second. Your screen, or your monitor, is der Bildschirm in German.
Let's really listen to that. Bildschirm. The I is short and punchy, and that sh sound, it's just like the S-CH in a word like shoe. Listen one more time. Der Bildschirm. Der Bildschirm. Now you give it a try. So where would you use this? Well, you could tell a friend, mein neuer Bildschirm ist sehr groß. My new monitor is very big. Simple as that.
All right, next up, another piece of essential hardware. For the keyboard, you're going to say die Tastatur.
Now the trick here is that vowel sound. You hear how it's a nice open ah sound in both spots? Tastatur. Let's say it together now. Die Tastatur. Die Tastatur. Okay, your turn.
And here's a phrase you might actually need someday. If you spill coffee on yours, you can say, Ich brauche eine neue Tastatur für meinen PC.
So we've got the hardware sorted. Now let's get into the verbs. You know, the action words that actually make things happen in your digital world. Just think about a totally normal workflow. First, you öffnen a file. You open it. Then you tippen. You type. Then, and this is crucial, you speichern. You save it. And finally, maybe you ausdrucken it. You print it out. See that? Öffnen, tippen, speichern, ausdrucken. It's the whole process right there.
Now for a verb you're going to use about 1 million times a day, especially if you're a student. To copy is kopieren.
I want you to really focus on that E in the middle. In German, whenever you see E together, it makes a long E sound, like in the English word be. So it's not kopieren, it's kopieren. Listen again. Kopieren, kopieren. All right, you try it.
And here's the classic phrase you'll need for it. Du kannst den Text einfach kopieren und einfügen. That's your German copy and paste. So useful.
Awesome. So your digital desk is all set up. Now it's time to connect to the web and go online.
Now this one looks super familiar, right? But the pronunciation and the gender are totally German. It's email.
Let's really listen to those vowels. It isn't a soft English email. It's sharp, it's clear. Email. Hear how crisp that E is? And the I sound is nice and distinct. Let's try it. Die email, die email. Now you.
And you're going to hear this question constantly, whether at work or with your friends. Hast du meine E-Mail bekommen?
You know, this is one of those times where the German language is just so beautifully logical. To download a file is herunterladen, which literally means download, and to upload is hochladen, high load or upload. The little words at the front, herunter for down and hoch for up, tell you exactly which way the file is going. Herunterladen and hochladen. It just makes sense, doesn't it?
Wow. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here. Let's wrap things up with a quick summary. Think of this as your own personal cheat sheet for getting these sounds right.
So these are the absolute must-knows. First off, that IE combination, it's always going to be a long E sound, just like we heard in kopieren. Next, those verb endings. You got to make them clear. It's speichern. Really hit that EN sound, not a lazy speichern. Then you've got the German W, which sounds just like an English V. Think Laufwerk. And finally, the German V often sounds like an English F, like in vergessen, which means to forget. If you can lock these 4 things down, you are absolutely golden.
You know, the biggest thing to take away from all this is to just keep going. Learning a language is all about doing it, not just listening. We went through some really core words today, but that leads me to my final question for you.
What's the next German word you're going to hunt down, look up, and actually say out loud? Thanks so much for joining me for this one.